The first film here is called The Devil All the Time. You can watch this on Netflix. It's quite the movie. I will tell you that right now. This one's directed by Antonio Campos, who I've never heard of before, but what's really appealing about this movie, just in general, is this cast: Tom Holland, Bill Skarsgård, Robert Pattinson, Mia Wasikowska, Jason Clarke. You can't get much better than this cast. I actually watched this movie the other day. Now, the first thing I'm going to say about this movie is it's very dark, brutal, and it's a longer watch, a little bit of a slower burn, very pulpy storytelling. There's a lot going on, so may not be for everybody. But if you kind of are interested in a movie with this cast, there is some fun to be had here. I know that's a weird thing to say about such a dark and brutal movie, but hear me out. The fun aspect to me kind of lies in the fact that we get to see how all these stories come together, and we're kind of waiting on that. I enjoy kind of the "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" type humor that's in it. There's not a lot of it, but it knows when to make fun of itself for sure. But it's about as dark as something, say, like No Country for Old Men. So it's got some Coen Brothers vibes going on there, but also it kind of takes some inspiration from Quentin Tarantino with Pulp Fiction, kind of giving all these different storylines, and we got to see how they connect throughout. So that's kind of the mystery to the film. I thought the second half kind of fell off a little bit right there at the beginning of it, because the second half starts to really slow down the pacing. And that's when I kind of was like, oh boy. I mean, it's a stretch, there for a little while. And so wasn't a big fan of the pacing at the beginning of the second act, but then like I would say the third act of the film is very strong, has a very strong ending. Really enjoyed this one. I actually think it's underrated, from what I've been seeing. I don't know why it's getting the ratings it is. Seems to be pretty divisive. I mean, there's going to be a lot of different decisions with the characters, and you're either going to be on board with them or you're not. I thought the cast was fantastic, though. I mean, Tom Holland probably plays the most mature role that I've ever seen him play, and probably the most mature role that he has played. Robert Pattinson kind of plays this, sicko pastor, and he's a sicko Jesus freak. I don't mind people liking Jesus. I'm saying that the way that he uses religion is really wrong, and yeah, he plays quite the role. I mean, Robert Pattinson does a phenomenal job, as expected anymore. It just doesn't surprise me anymore when Robert Pattinson does a great job in movies, but it's also great to watch. But it doesn't surprise me anymore. The other thing, Mia Wasikowska, we don't get a lot of her in the movie, but she's good in the movie. She always does these types of. I feel like Mia Wasikowska, one of the things with her is like she's good, but she plays the same role a lot. I really feel that way. She's either, I mean, I don't know. I mean, outside of like Alice in Wonderland, right? She's playing the girl who is getting involved with men, but she's also got this innocence about her. Or I'm sorry, getting involved with some bad men, but she's also got this innocence about her. I mean, Jason Clarke, finally seeing Jason Clarke in a great movie again, or a great role again. I mean, it's a pretty sadistic and twisted role, but the role that he plays in the movie he still does a good job. I don't even think off the top I mentioned Sebastian Stan, who's pretty good in this movie. He's generally pretty good in movies. I would say, but the other standout was definitely Bill Skarsgård. I think like Bill Skarsgård, Pattinson, and Tom Holland all made this film really work. But it's a very divisive film, though. Like a lot of the decisions, because there's a lot of different characters, a lot of things need to, fall into place a certain way, and I feel like the audiences are going to be divided on that, which might be why it's getting such a mixed reaction. But for me, I really like this movie. I think it's a very well made, very well directed. Oh, this is somebody else that stood out in this movie. And he's not in there necessarily a long period of time, but Harry Melling is in this movie, and wow, he did a really phenomenal job. I like that guy. He's been showing up in quite a bit, whether it be like Lost City of Z or post Harry Potter days. He's been showing up quite a bit, whether it be Lost City of Z or what's that other one I just that Coen Brothers movie. I can't remember the name of it. But that he was in that Coen Brothers movie that came out on Netflix. Ballad of Buster Scruggs is the Coen Brothers movie. So yeah, he's been doing some really great work post Harry Potter days. I mean, he's a good, kind of bratty little cousin in Harry Potter, but the stuff he's been doing after that has been pretty fantastic, and definitely superior to the kind of performances he would give then when he was younger, obviously, and he's grown as an actor. But yeah, I've been enjoying seeing him in films. So good to have him. So the other other thing about this movie is it's got a longer runtime for sure. I mean, it's going to feel longer because of the slow burns. Um, but like I said, like for the most part, it does a good job getting you invested in the characters, so you're not really minding the slow burns nearly as much as maybe you could be, because again, it's a movie that invests you. It's a movie that you're gonna really like watching. It's as beautiful cinematography. I can't wait to see more from this Antonio Campos. I think he has a good eye behind the camera. I'm gonna definitely check out his filmography. This might be his first film of all time. I don't know. If it is, that's a pretty good start. But if he has other movies, I definitely want to check them out, because this movie, it's good how he puts all the pieces together. There's a lot of different, like, it's almost like a big puzzle, right? It's a lot of different puzzle pieces he has to put into place in order to make it all work in the end. Work in the end. But for the most part, yeah, this movie really works, and it's pretty strong. I think that maybe Tom Holland and Robert Pattinson can both get Oscar nods, or Skarsgård. Bill Skarsgård does a good job. So definitely something to look out for through the awards season. I know that the performances are definitely at least getting praise. So yeah, definitely check this one out. It's brutal, disturbing, but it's for the most part, but it's really good. It's really good how it all comes together at the end. So let me know what you guys thought of The Devil All the Time. Like I said, you can find this one on Netflix right now. Pretty much about crazy church going people. So not that people that go to church are crazy, but these people tend to use their religion in a pretty twisted and sadistic way. So yeah, might not be for you, but I do recommend it if it sounds like it's something you might be interested in. So yeah,